over the meeting will be our mayor, Bob Odekirk.
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Odekirk.
Here.
Councilman Clement.
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin.
I am here.
Councilman Guerrero.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
We'll just do it when we come to you.
Councilman Morris.
Here.
Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
The presentation this evening will be held during the agenda item, which is council memo. I apologize. Let me find it just to let you know.
31822, I believe.
Which, I'm sorry,
31822.
31822, which is the ordinance approving the redistricting of Councilmatic district. So that's when we will have the presentation this evening. So first is citizens to be heard on agenda items. First is John Schlange, Council Memo 316-22.
Good evening. My name is Jonathan Schlange, appearing on agenda item number 31622. My client is Amber Solutions Corp. and E&A Bill Group LLC. This is an ordinance approving an amendment to a special use permit to allow truck and trailer parking on the adjacent lot of a trucking facility located on lot 7 along Stone City Drive. You may remember this was tabled from the last city council meeting due to council members' concern about the possibility of leasing trucking and trailer spaces to third-party users not employed by or otherwise contracted with my clients. So the ordinance language has since been revised to address this concern. Also, as it states in the staff report and the city manager's memo, we are working with the city Department of Public Works and engineers on the final design prior to beginning construction on the site. And I'm happy to answer any questions. My clients are here to answer any questions as well.
Questions? Very good. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening?
Rita Renwick. I am the chair of the City of Joliet's Tree Advisory Board, and I'm here to speak on item 314-22, which is a tree preservation ordinance to be considered tomorrow for a vote. And for 30 years, we've been functioning as a tree board. For 30 years, we've been functioning as a tree board, and every year when we do our paperwork for Tree City USA, we refer to everything dealing with trees by referencing several places in the city code, the code of ordinances, the zoning ordinance, subdivision regulations, and everything was sort of scattered everywhere. Even at one time, I spoke to Jeff Plyman, and he said maybe we can do an appendix at the end of the ordinances to try to gather everything in one place. Well, we received a grant from the USDA, U.S. Forest Service, in January of last year, and in order to fulfill the requirements for that, we needed to have a tree preservation ordinance. So we've been working on this for a long time, putting everything together in one place, one ordinance, meeting all of their requirements to get reimbursed the $20,000 that have gone into this grant. And part of that, besides this ordinance, which we needed to do, was to survey the cathedral area and do an inventory. And we will be working on a management plan, which will come back, and we'll also have the contractor discuss that inventory. But for now, I'm just here to promote the passage of the ordinance. We used a silver template from the Chicago Region Trees Initiative, which is a consortium consisting of the Morton Arboretum, government entities, businesses, and nonprofits, all promoting the betterment of trees in the community, the urban forest. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Questions? Quick one, Mayor. Yes, Rita. So this ordinance does protect our standing with Tree City, because I know there was some question about that.
Yes, in fact, they got in touch with us and said, well, you don't have an ordinance. And we said, we're working on it. It's going to hopefully be here soon. But, you know, they're just getting a little stricter. This grant went out to 18 communities this year, and they all are putting together their ordinances and an urban forestry management plan. So, and the nice thing is, once we get this done, it will put us in good standing for other grants, because it's like, you've got to have this. And the Chicago Region Trees Initiative is also going to be looking at carbon credits. So there is a possibility that we could earn carbon credits as a city by planting trees, and that might fund some of our tree program. So, you know, we're the third largest city in the state. So it's really a necessary thing for us to move the program forward.
So the commission has been very involved with this and make sure that it's all done right.
Right.
Because I know
And
you've got some people that specialize in this on the commission.
Right.
And,
We do.
and then we have our arborist too.
We do, and all of that has served us very well by putting all of it together. And we have really been communicating with the arborists at the Morton Arboretum, like, 15 emails, 6 Zoom meetings, all of that, trying to get everything done correctly, so.
Well, thank you for all your work.
Any other questions?
Great job on that, Rita.
Thank you, Rita.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Seeing none, we'll have the city manager discuss the items on the agenda.
Thank you. Item 286-22, regular payroll for March 11th through the 24th of $3,519,629.08. Agenda item 287-22, regular payroll from March 25th through April 7th for $3,712,874.44. Agenda item 289-22, award of a contract for the 2022 drinking water sodium blended phosphate purchase to Hawkins Water Treatment Group in the amount of $74,700. This is a corrosion inhibitor that we add to the water to prevent the pipes from rusting. Agenda item 290-22, which is a award of a contract for the purchase of gas detection equipment at the Eastside Wastewater Treatment Plant to LAI Ltd. in the amount of $69,635. Agenda item 291-22, it's an award of a contract for the 2022 sidewalk curb replacement project in the central Joliet area to PT Farrow Construction in the amount of $295,685. Item 292-22, which is award of the contract for the citywide newsletter for 2022 to 2023 to One Step Print in the amount of $163,123.77. This is the quarterly newsletter that used to go out on a regular basis. It was stopped for a while, and the mayor has, it was a great thing, and the mayor really wanted to get that going again. It's taken a lot longer than what we thought to get all the bids together, but this is it's a great thing. The residents love it, and it's going to be in Spanish and English.
Mayor, question?
Yes.
There was nobody local that was bidding on this that was competitive?
No, there were not. We put this out to bid in a regular, just like we do everything else, councilperson. So, yeah, and this is substantially more money than what we used to pay, to be frankly honest. But we couldn't get anybody to do it for the price that we had last time. So this was the best offer that we actually got out of the bunch. So so we were tracking that, but we just weren't successful.
Good.
Okay. Item 293-22, award a contract for the Lawrence Avenue Lift Station Rehabilitation Project to J.S. Alberco Construction in the amount of $748,000. Agenda item 294-22, and that's award of a contract for the Illinois Route 53 at Emerald Drive Intersection Improvement Project to PT Farrow in the amount of $2,318,134.78. Agenda item is 295-22, award a contract to Granicus Website Services, and that provides some of the internal mechanisms that we do, such as even approving the agenda. Item 296-22, professional services agreement to Phase 3 engineering services for the Illinois Route 53 at Emerald Drive intersection improvement project to Jacob and Hefner, not to exceed the amount of $135,682. Agenda item 297-22, purchase of 3 pavement recycler and hot box trailers from Midwest Paving Equipment in the amount of $132,054. This is something that we hadn't had in a while. It allows us to do better road paving repairs to our roads, especially in the wintertime, because it's put down while it's hot, not a cold patch that just gets kind of churned up. You've been by the potholes several times. I'm sure you've seen it. This is something that I know that Councilman Clement was intimately involved in, as well as Ruddy. So we tested a bunch of different ones, and this was the one that the roadways department liked the best. So this is going to be make our streets a little bit more durable going forward.
Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
Jim, could you send myself and the rest of the council the bids? They weren't in there. I know there were others that submitted, you know, we tested like 4 different kinds. Could you send those to us?
Sure.
So we can have those? Thank you.
Sure, I know that there was, but this, when it was all said and done, this one kept it warm. It kept it warm overnight, so we don't waste materials. So that was a cost that's not necessarily affected in the price of the hot box itself, but we wouldn't have to reload it with asphalt on a regular basis. But we were able to continue to get better use out of all of the asphalt that we do use.
Yeah, is that something we could have for
Yeah.
tomorrow morning so we can look at it?
Yeah, I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure we'll get something,
Thank
sure. Item 298-22, change order number 1 in the amount of $82,033.68, and payment estimate number 5 in the final amount of $161,149.12 for the Forest Park Phase 2 Water Main Improvement Project to Austin Tyler Construction. Agenda item 299-22, change order number 1 in the amount of $131,020.99 to the request number 4 in the final amount of $67,597.82 to PT Farrow Construction for Mason Avenue Salem Drive Roadway Improvement Project 2020. Item number 300-22, payment of the membership dues for the Lower Des Plaines Watershed Group in the amount of $89,642.12.
Mayor? Yes. Just for clarification, items 298-22 and 299-22, the first amounts were both credits back to the city.
That's correct.
Right.
Yes,
That was left
absolutely.
out. I wanted to make sure that anybody listening or watching would understand that.
Yeah, thank you, Councilman. Next, we have the licenses and permit applications. So,
Okay, hi everyone, there are quite a few licenses and permit applications on the agenda tonight. And for the first group, everything up until the last one, the public hearings were held on May 11, 2022 in the council chambers. We will walk through them. The first one is item 302-22, that's the issuance of a Class E liquor license at 103 North Ottawa Street, El Chameleon. That's a new location, and that's right over here at Otto and Van Buren, in the building that's been renovated. The front unit has been renovated. It's the intention to put a restaurant there. The Class E license allows for service of alcoholic liquor on the premises in conjunction with table service, so a restaurant is what it is, and the applicant is here if there are any questions. Okay, item numbers 303-22 and 304-22 are transfers of existing license at consumer liquors locations. The first one is at 1607 West Jefferson. The second one is at 1134 Plainfield Road. Those are for package sales. And once again, they're transfers of existing locations, so nothing new there. Item number 305-122, once again, a transfer of a Class E liquor license at 1515 Riverboat Center Drive, Town Place Marriott, Joliet, I-80. Once again, a transfer of an existing Class E license at the hotel out there, nothing new. Item number 306-22, the issuance of a Class B liquor license at 2761 to 2765 Black Road, Moriscos, El Valletarzo. And again, that's the old Barolo's. It's been under construction for quite some time and they're ready to open. They're asking for a Class B license that allows for consumption on the premises. Are there any questions about that? I think the applicant's here now.
I'd like to know when you're gonna open. I've been waiting.
Okay, 307-22, the issuance of a Class B liquor license at 2700 Plainfield Road, ex-golf of Joliet. That's out by Route 30 in Hennepin, in the, where Fresh Time Market is, in that area right there. They are on the easternmost unit. Ex-golf is it's a franchise. There's a lot of them in the Chicagoland area. Essentially, it's a bar and a restaurant and a club you can go to practice your golf swing. They have different rooms. You can play simulated games of golf, and they offer entertainment as well. 308-22, that is a transfer of a Class C liquor license at 325 South Larkin Avenue, 7-Eleven. There is a 7-Eleven there right now. The corporation is restructuring, so we're just transferring the existing license that's there already. There is nothing new at that location. Item 309-22, the issuance of a Class C liquor license at 2951 Centerpoint Way, Lenny's Food and Fuel, Vetter Road, LLC. There is an existing truck stop there. Len McHenry is taking that over, and to augment the business, he is asking to allow package sales from that location, not for consumption on the premises. Are there any questions about that? Item 310-22, that is a denial of a Class BG liquor license at 324 South Larkin Avenue, Joliet Marathon. The Liquor Commissioner is asking for a denial of the license at that location for the following reasons. It's a combination of a lot of factors. Number one, we know that there's a proximity to a residential neighborhood just to the east of that, and it's felt that the addition of a liquor license to that area will negatively impact that residential neighborhood. There are 11 within 1 mile of that location, including several that already offer video gambling on their premises. Now, that's right at Larkin and McDonough, so if we swing that 1 mile arc south into Rockdale, we add a significant amount of places that offer on-premise consumption, package sales, and video gambling, and the feeling is that's an oversaturation within that area. Also, during the pendency of the liquor license application on May 25th, 2002, the premises sold tobacco to a minor. So they did violate local ordinance and state law while the license was pending. For all those factors, we are asking for a denial of the issuance of that license. For the remaining item, 311-22, the public hearing was held here in the council chambers on May 31st, 2022, that is the issuance of a Class C liquor license at 1801 West Jefferson Street. That is Tony's Finer Foods. Again, Class C is package sales, not for consumption on the premises. They're gonna run a grocery store. They wanna have a liquor department in the store, and it's recommended that that be approved. If there are no questions, then we can move on. Thank you, everyone.
Chris, or actually for the chief. Chief, can you run calls for service for 302-22? I thought there was, we had a serious incident there maybe last year.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do
Okay,
that.
thank you.
With no further questions, I'll continue on. For ordinance and resolutions, item 313-22, ordinance establishing a date for public hearing and convening a joint review board for an amendment to the Rock Run Crossing Tax Increment Financing District. This is one that was originally going to be 263 acres. It is now moving and grown to 309 acres. Next agenda item is 314-22. It's an ordinance amending Chapter 26, Division 2, Article 5, Tree, Shrub, and Plant Regulations, repealing Chapter 8, Division 3 of Disease Tree, and that's it's actually Article 4. Next agenda item is the 315-22, and it's ordinance amending Chapter 18, Article 8 and a half, and creating Section 18-190.1.1 regarding fueling of unauthorized motor vehicles, and this is to prevent the those folks that are driving around on unlicensed motorcycles and scooters pulling up to a gas pump and being able to fill up there without it being on a trailer. Next item is 316-22. It's an ordinance approving an amendment to a special use permit to allow truck and trailer parking on an adjacent lot of a truck facility located on Lot 7 along Stone City Drive. The next item is ordinance amending the 2022 annual budget for the city of Joliet, which is 317-22, Will and Kendall counties in Illinois to include $400,000 for expenditure of ThriveWorks Community Mental Health Program. I believe this was the item that Jeff had spoke, Deputy Chief, about the other day at the last meeting. So this is currently on the agenda about mental health, expanding mental health outreach to our citizens. Next item on the agenda is 318-22, which is an ordinance approving the redistricting of the councilman district. And with that, I'll have Eva Marie, if she could come up and talk about a little bit about here, what this looks like. And so without further ado.
Thank you, Mr. Caparelli. Good evening, Mayor, City Council. My name is Eva Marie Tropper, and I'm the Director of Community Development at the City of Joliet. Over the next few minutes, I wanted to present the next proposal on the agenda, which is the redistricting of the Councilmatic districts. One moment. Thank you. The 2020 census indicates that the total population of the city of Joliet has increased to 150,362. Since 2010, that is a 1.9% population increase from 147,433 people. Under federal and state law, the city is required to periodically reapportion its boundaries, its jurisdictional boundaries, if there's an increase in 10% of the overall population within its jurisdiction. At the citywide level, we're okay. At the district level, we do have some changes. Based on the city's current population, this target population for each district should be over and around 30,072. As currently configured, the population of each councilmatic district is as follows. And what I'd like to do is walk you through this table so that you understand what it means, because on each of the subsequent exhibits, there are tables that have been drawn up specific for their configuration. So we'll start at the top and we'll go from column left to column right. Column left are the district numbers. The second column, the 2020 population, those are the outcomes of the 2020 census appropriated by district. The target population mean is 30,072. That is the target total population for each district. Imbalance. What that means, in using District 1 as an example, is that there are 53 people over and above the target population mean within District 1. That is roughly a deviation of above 0.18%. District 2. Negative 1,136. Currently, District 2 is short 1,136 people from the target population mean. District 3, positive 4,907. That means there are over 4,900, specifically 4,907 people over the target population mean. This is the first indicator and reason why we need to redistrict the boundaries of the District 3 and look at the other districts as well. Continuing on, District 4 has short 2,587 people, which is a negative 8.6% amount. The 16.32% from District 3 is almost double that. And District 5 is an imbalance of 1,235 people, or short roughly 4.11 from the target population mean. Generally, again, the courts do not permit a deviation that exceeds 10% per district. Therefore, reapportionment of the 5 councilmatic districts is necessary today. Next slide, please. The administration prepared 3 scenarios for redistricting that consider the growth in census numbers and the need to balance the population distribution amongst the 5 districts. In your packets, there were 4 maps. Exhibit A are the current district boundaries. Each of the 3 scenarios, B to D, results in a distribution of less than 10% of the standard deviation from each district. That would be the last column in the previous table. Before I continue and show these maps, I just wanted to issue a reminder that Exhibit A is a map of the current district boundaries. Exhibit B does not avoid a vacancy or a forfeiture of office. Exhibit C and Exhibit D avoid a vacancy or forfeiture of office and reapportion the 5 councilmanic districts effective with the 2023 district council person elections. We'll begin with the first slide. Again, a reminder, this is Exhibit A, the current district boundaries for the city of Joliet. Exhibit B. These are the district boundaries using condition number 1, which is population parity. In this framework, every district is set at the total population parity number of 30,072. This is what it would look like. Exhibit C, 2 conditions. Population parity as before, with one additional condition that every council district person stays in their wards. Exhibit D. Base is Exhibit C, which meets the 2 conditions of population parity, and every council district person stays in their ward.
We're still on C. Can you flip to D, please?
Thank you. Thank you. Exhibit D. That concludes my presentation, but I'll stay for questions.
Any questions?
Could you go back to C one more time, please?
Exhibit C.
Okay. It's just with the maps that we have in our small little, it's rather difficult to see.
I understand.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Question too.
Good.
Just because it's a bit hard to see at first glance, could you maybe just highlight some of the differences between Exhibit C and D?
Certainly. Michael?
Certainly. In this little area right here, this little area right here was just flip-flopped a little bit between C and D, between 1 and 2. Excuse me, we can go back to the, here we go again. D. Current slide. You can see how that moved a little bit. And then here, in this area right here, you'll see this goes more up with 3 goes up into this area. And we move from here. You can see the change. So this actually became red and this became green up in this area.
Mayor?
Yes.
Since they saw fit to put my name on this, like I have this computer program at home on my computer, right? Councilman, I'll show you. My requests were right here. You would think that the staff would have caught this. Where we at, C?
Let's see.
Okay, if you go right here, I live right here. This is my subdivision, this is where I live, it's not just one of my subdivisions, right? They split this subdivision in half and my subdivision, they split up. And all they had to do was put this subdivision with Pat and myself and Councilman Mudrin talked about it. So this becomes all Councilman Mudrin's and my subdivision stays all Councilman Hugg's. Makes sense, right?
Sure.
Should have been caught before I caught it.
Councilman, do you think you could go over there and show it?
Sure,
So everybody can
sure.
see at home as well?
She has a pointer, so if you want to use her pointer.
You're pointing from over there, from that computer there.
Look, see, right here.
That's a red point.
I don't see it.
Go up. Up.
Yeah.
It's not showing up on TV.
I don't know if the council.
Not even the white arrow does.
Right
huh?
here is my subdivision, right here.
Huh.
See right there? See it's blue and red? Blue and red? Then over here is another, that's called, Warwick. This is Wexford East.
No one on
See, it's
TV can
blue and
hear
red.
this.
The blue would be Councilman Mudrin's. So for some reason, they didn't catch this, and they split up two subdivisions so that these subdivisions don't have the same representation, including my very own home subdivision. So this was returned to my subdivision where it belongs, and Councilman Mudrin took this part that's right here, became part of the blue that they switched to him. So we didn't split either of the subdivision instead of splitting two. One of the most horrendous things to do is represent somebody in a split subdivision, if you can avoid it, right? Now here, we have some, this was changed that he had showed you off, let me see, 59. This is C. They kept intact, it gave away some of this to Councilwoman Reardon and kept intact myself over here because I'm working on projects and have been for 6 years with that subdivision. And again, they were splitting subdivisions that weren't necessary. Those are the two minor changes. One was my home subdivision, and one was a subdivision I've been working, and I work well with Councilwoman Reardon too, but I still didn't want to walk away from that subdivision. And again, I had the decency to call Councilwoman Reardon, and we discussed it as well too, we had no problem. Both of those errors could have been caught by staff, but I guess you gotta live here to understand that.
We, Councilman, we, that's why we sent out the maps. We're grateful that you were able to point that out to us, and so we made the changes, you know, per your request. So we, again, appreciate the input from you on this particular matter. So, it certainly meets the requirements of keeping all the 5 district council members in their, at their home addresses and in their districts. And it creates, gets us below the deviation to keep us under the 10%. So I believe either of these two maps are, meet what I believe would be the requirements here. So I would like to point out also that we are kind of under a time crunch, and that's not the city's fault or the state's fault. They got the census data late. I know that some of you are well aware that with COVID, they got out to late count, but they did not change the state deadlines, unfortunately for us. So we're a bit under a time crunch to be able to get this done. So we would ask that you, we have this discussion today, maybe if you can pick one out that we can move forward with. The latest that we could probably, the latest, our drop dead is the next council meeting is to have a map that we can agree on, because we've got to get that over to the county. We also have to get the legal description, which takes a bit of time to get, because we don't know which one everybody's going to pick. So, like I said, so anything that we can do to, I know it's short time here to be able to do that, but if we can expedite it, to get this over to the county as quickly as possible. So I'd appreciate any input from any of you on which you think might be something you could live with here.
Mayor?
Yes.
Isn't there a requirement legal? Don't we have to post the final map that we do choose for a period of time, 30 or 60 days?
Todd.
Yes.
Can you hear me? I'm not familiar with any rule that says we have to post that.
I would think whether it's a rule or not, we should, open up for public feedback, because this is gonna affect some people. So I don't have an issue with tabling it tomorrow and waiting to the next council meeting.
Okay, great.
Should we not vote on one, but should we pick one preliminarily so that we can, so they know, as opposed to trying to look at all four of these that can confuse them, the people? They have to come to understand that, of course, one is the current map, which should not have been put in with these four, or these three. But it could become confusing, so shouldn't we see, at least straw poll, which one we're considering as a council, and then we can post that, wait for feedback, and make the final vote.
We can do that tomorrow, Sabrina.
I'd like to make a comment.
Sabrina, can we do that tomorrow?
That's fine, we can take a straw poll.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Can we get a color copy of C and D? I mean, so we can look at it?
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's hard to see on this, I mean, we're looking at it now, but
Sure.
on the iPad, it's
It's,
next to impossible.
yeah, okay, not a problem.
Is
We'll get
that
you some-
okay? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. We'll
just the C and D,
we'll get
then we
them
can
in, we'll have them in your mailbox tomorrow in the morning.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes, I also would like to have a copy of the D. I do have the C, but I exhibit, but I don't have the D. And I can't see clearly. My concern, and I was fine with Councilman Hugg's changes. It impacts my area, but it's fine. It's reasonable why he wants to do that. The only concern I have is it's hard to see within my map if the whole area that I live in, not that it's for me, I'm not going to be here forever, but I can see my HOA saying, you mean this side of the street is out? I have a different council person for this side of the street. I just want to make sure that in the Twin Oaks East, we're not leaving out like a street or two. It just wouldn't make sense, and I think that would be very aggravating for the residents.
Which is
going
why we
forward.
need public feedback.
Well,
Right.
I agree, but I would like to, Mike, if you could talk a little bit about census grouping and how that all works, so what kind of constraints you're under?
We're okay, we're gonna get public feedback on this tomorrow, we'll
Well,
table
what
it
I'm-
tomorrow.
what
So,
I'm-
we're okay, thank you.
But what I'm-
Anything else? Are we good? Oh, okay, go ahead, Krista.
I believe there's other items that you need to review for tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Next is item 319-22, ordinance establishing a date for public hearing and convening a joint review board for the amendment number 3 to the city center tax increment financing redevelopment plan and project. Agenda item 320-22, an ordinance creating an interested parties registered for an amendment to the Rock Run Crossing Tax Instrument Finance District. Item 321-22, ordinance creating an interested parties registry for an amendment number 3 to the City Center Tax Increment Financing District. Item 323-22, resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Illinois Department of Transportation, I-55 and Illinois Route 59 interchange improvements. And the last item is 324-22, a resolution authorizing execution of an intergovernmental cooperation agreement between the City of Joliet and the Joliet Park District, and this is for the Taste of Joliet. And that concludes the agenda items and my comments, subject to your questions.
Mayor?
Yes.
So I had raised this concern at our last session, just seeing heard again, with regards to Council Memo 294. The last time we met, there were two different contracts on there that were in excess of $2 million. I'd like to see those contracts voted on separately. I don't have any particular issue with this memo, but I just think for the sake of record keeping, for the sake of transparency, that anytime we're going to have an award of contract within this price range, that I think it warrants having its own line item.
I agree.
Would you like an ordinance to put into effect to that so that we can remove those off the consent agenda without having to go through the process? Or do we need to do that, Krista?
I don't believe it'd be necessary, that's a legal question, but I believe we can just have agenda
that's
item,
awesome.
another section on the agenda.
Okay, perfect.
And then we wouldn't have to remove it each time.
Perfect.
Next is public comments. Is there anyone that would like to speak under public comments this evening?
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Mayor, Council, of course, here I am again, standing before you. We are including you. We are the organization that gives back to the community every year. First of all, I would like to say thank each and every one of you for your support of including you. This is our 5th year anniversary, we're proud to say. Can I get a hand clap? And so we're standing before you to present Including You for our 2022 festival in beautiful downtown Joliet, which will be held on July 30th and from 5:30 till 11:30. Our recipients for this year is Bad News Baseball Academy and the Salvation Army, and you all know that the Salvation Army does tremendous work for the entire Joliet, Will County area. And those little guys in the Bad News Baseball Academy, they much need equipment and everything, and so that's what we're here for, to give back to our community. And so we want to say we're looking forward to your support on this year. We're looking to have a wonderful time on this year, and we want to thank all of the supporters that has been supporting us since we've been in existence. And I really want to take my hat off and thank you, Mr. Mayor, for your continued support and allowing us to do this, and each and every one of you. So if, with that being said, we do have like little tokens of appreciation that we would like to hand out to you. Am I able to approach the council? Are we able, Joe, what are you smiling about?
I'm so happy.
I know, right? Are we able to approach the council
Sure.
and give you guys these gifts? You guys want to take these off? Okay. I think it's 9. So once again, you all, thank you for including you. Thank you for allowing us and helping us serve our community. So I think,
Thank you.
with that being said,
Thank you.
I don't know if we have enough.
Oh, more applause, is that what you want?
Yeah. Okay, yes, there's plenty more. Jill Caparelli, please do not throw that in the garbage. I want to see it on your wrist tomorrow night. Okay?
I don't wear jewelry.
Give it to your wife. Mr. Mudgeon, you said that?
I'll squeeze it on somehow.
Okay, and thank you for covering us in our insurance, Mr. Mudgeon. Okay, thank you, City.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak under public comments this evening? Seeing none, I did receive a request for closed session. Is there a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, land acquisition or conveyance pending or threatened litigation, after which the meeting will be adjourned?
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudron?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Oh, aye, sorry.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Motion carried.